watching famous games on YouTube.
Welcome back, friends. You're watching the Short Vol Show live, coming to you live from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, home of the Pilgrims. And we have finally, at long last today, the long-anticipated reverse split of UVXY. And indeed, if we pull up the charts, we can see in the background UVXY indicated to open somewhere around $40. Let's take a quick look at that. Behind me, we can see UVXY here looking to open. And, you know, there will be somebody out there in the land who says, oh my gosh, why is it up so much today? But, of course, it was a 10-for-1 split. So it went from around $4 to around $40. Here we have it. And the options will be adjusting soon. New series will be coming out. They actually have, I guess, kind of gotten ahead of it on this one, which is interesting. So we can see when we go through the options series here, we can see the old pre-split options say 10 over 100, and then they do have new options right here. And here they are. So that is, I believe, encouraging that we have some that we have post-split stuff up. Anyway, let's go quickly to the term structure and take a look. Now, the term structure is looking relatively normal, of course. Here we have the term structure. You can see this. They've moved the buttons around a little bit. This refresh graph button is now on the left here next to some to this wide button, and obviously they've added in this little ad blocker thing where there's a sign, like most websites do this now. Something posts up that says that if you have an ad blocker on. But anyway, the term structure looking very normal. If we hover over this first month, we can see 20 days till expiration. So we're about a third of the way through the cycle here, and looking like no real concern from checking out this chart, showing almost 10% contango, so definitely decay going on here. So we should see UVXY start to decay at a pretty good pace. Meanwhile, in meme stock land, now one of the reasons you haven't seen me that much in the last little bit was that I've just been getting decimated in my GME position here. I did make the decision yesterday to roll it out farther, and I'm kind of glad I did that ahead of the up move that we happened in the afternoon, because I significantly decreased my short delta yesterday right before we got that big move up, and we've gotten another big move up today. And now the position I have is the put spreads are so far out of the money that they're not being affected that much by these up moves. But essentially, my position now is out in August. I own some August put spreads, the August 115, 110, 105. So basically put spreads out in August that would require GME to get closer to $100 as opposed to what it's doing today. And we can see not only GME, but other meme stocks are really just kind of rocketing upward today. Now, since we last talked, some stuff has changed. We've seen a little bit of a decay in the cryptos. We've seen a little bit of a sell-off, and it seems to me on the research that I've done that has something to do with the Chinese government putting more restraints on crypto, and also, of course, Elon Musk being a big player in this, not only with his tweets and whatnot, but saying that Tesla would no longer be accepting cryptocurrencies as payment. And when we do get a shock, we had, I think it was last week, we had one day where some of these were down like 30%. And that's just kind of disruptive for businesses that are using a cryptocurrency to pay for stuff. Now, I have not really taken a stand one way or another in crypto other than to kind of stay away from it, in that I just haven't really had the ability in my mind to really value it very well. I know that there are several people on this channel who have done really well in crypto, and I congratulate you for that. There's also people who have been trying to talk me into crypto for a long time, and I probably should have listened to them because I would have more coins in my bank account at this point if I had. But that being said, we have seen an erosion of some of these cryptos recently. I like to pull up Gemini site. So if we go here, let's see if we can, if we go to Gemini and pull up prices, we can look at prices in crypto. And if I get out of the way, we can see here. And so, Bitcoin today back over 40,000. Dogecoin, 35 cents. That's about 50% off the high. And you can see these valuations, this is significant. This is a very significant market at this point. $743 billion Bitcoin valuation. Ethereum, $329 billion. And the rest are smaller from there, but still significant. $54 billion. Polkadot, $22 billion. Litecoin, $13 billion, etc. down the line. And, money is streaming into these. All right, so let's go back to GME for a second. GME really has made a big move. Earnings are in about a week and a half. They're June 8th after the close, so 2 weeks, I guess, from now. And there's not really any news out, but we've just seen all these meme stocks moving in tandem upward, and AMC has had sort of more news than GME, but we've just seen basically a lot of popularity in these issues. And I like to say that the stock market is a big popularity contest and functions that way sometimes. Now, there's some people who kind of see things through like numbers, and they're good at crunching numbers and can make an analysis of a company based on their financial reports. And that's certainly one way of looking at the stock market, and you can kind of compare companies based on their financial reports. So is the company profitable? Do they own factories? Are they spending a lot of money on something? This sort of things to evaluate a company. But a lot of times valuations diverge from some sort of just strictly crunching numbers analysis just based on their popularity. When someone decides to commit money to an investment, there's this emotional element that's involved. And, I think that these meme stocks are a great example of that. There's no real fundamental reason why GameStop has made this move back up. But nonetheless, it has. And the valuation has moved back up. And here we are. And we see today, we've traded over 1 million shares before the open. Now, this is the biggest volume we've had in like a month overnight. And but still, we're up almost 20 points on around 1 million shares. So that's relatively, I would say, thin, illiquid environment compared with many other issues. So we'll have to see where this goes. Where will the latest top be in GameStop? If we back up the charts a little bit here and I get out of the way, we can see, okay, here we have our initial move, 483. And then we can see that second move up here to 345. And then we kind of, we're kind of in a downtrend here, but things appear to have kind of turned around here, and we'll see if we continue to make highs here, and if we can sort of eclipse this the second high here of 353, I believe it is. And it would be amazing if that happens. This is just really kind of a unique situation in the market where we see a company that they're functioning and their their prospects haven't changed all that much, and yet the stock chart has really exploded. The first rip up was a short squeeze, and that's not that surprising to have a short squeeze, but this price action afterward is really pretty amazing. Anyway, so there we have that one. We will see. Let's take a look quickly at UVXY, and we see, it's been a great year for trading, for being short these VIX products, the VIX ETPs, and it looks to continue that way as we have almost 10% contango with 3 weeks to go in the term structure here, and no signs of real trouble here for UVXY and the VXX. So, if we continue to have contango at like 10%, these are going to continue to decay regardless of what the VIX does. Now, the VIX has had some fireworks in the last couple of weeks. If we pull up the VIX chart, we can see these moves. But if you go back to the UVXY chart, you barely see it as a bump in the road because we've just continued to decay due to the decent levels of contango. So yeah, you can see these pops here, but when you're working against 10% contango in the term structure, that is a very powerful force over a time period. Now, over a day or two, it's pretty much meaningless, but over a month or two, when you continue to have averages of contango over 10%, it really decays things, and it really shows you just the power of the term structure being in this shape over long periods of time. That's kind of what we have right now. So congratulations to those who made it through the rough period in these products. Remember, last year we had this big up move, and it was like a year where UVXY and VXX really didn't do very much. If we look, here's a 3-year, but if you look, if you had shorted this stuff, let me get out of the way again, sorry. If you had shorted this stuff, back in like October of 2020, it took you like a whole year to actually see gains, right? This whole period here was like a year where, depending on where you shorted it, you could be hung out to dry for months and months. But since the spike on COVID, we've just seen a continued sell-off, and it's been very fruitful. And anytime you kind of jumped on the train after COVID, you only had to wait a period of weeks before you were profitable, and you've continued to be profitable. So really, the short vol trade has been a winner for people, and unless you were kind of caught in that COVID thing. Ever since then, we've just had this really nice down move, not only in the VIX, but just in these products due to the contango shape of the term structure. So that's kind of where we stand right now. I am doing research for another interview coming up soon. I'm not going to announce it until we actually have done it. But anyways, that's where we are right now. And it's nice to see everybody. Hi, do you go to see Grab Brothers play in the Cape? GME functioning without debt and without stock dilution. So I'm not sure what Grab Brothers is. Anyhow, anyways, nice to see everybody, and I will check in. I promise not to be so much of a stranger, and I'm back, and I will see you very shortly next time on the show. Thanks for watching. I'll check in with you very soon. See ya.
You're watching Famous Dave.